All right, here is the story about Noah. Noah is blind, but he's also an avid runner, a licensed lobsterman, and a skilled musician. Find out how a 13-year-old navigates the world without sight. I remember the sound of my coach's voice as we neared the end of the race. Finish line coming up in 100 yards. Give it all you got. I heard my parents ringing a bell and cheering for me as sweat and sunscreen poured down my back that hot, muggy June. As I completed my first 10K, a hilly 6.2-mile road race I'd trained hard for, my parents ran over and hugged me, and I was completely overcome with emotion. Holy cow, I thought to myself. I did it. It would have been thrilling for anyone, but it was that much more exciting for me because I'm blind. My parents have always told me that I could do anything, so when I asked if I could start running cross country in kindergarten, they immediately said yes. My dad held my hand as we ran, warning me as we approached curbs or turns, and as for the terrain changed from gravel to tar to hills. For the 10K, a running coach guided me with a tether, which is a rope-like string that attached my wrist to his. It was so liberating. And liberating means free from being controlled by any other person. So it was liberating to finally be able to move my arms freely and work on my technique. Special determination. Since I was born blind, I've always had a different perspective on the world than other people, and I've always been determined to not let my blindness hold me back. Running isn't my only hobby. I love skiing and can handle double black diamond trails independently with a guide calling directions into a radio-like device that I strap onto my head. I also race motorized boats, steering as my dad yells out directions left, right, straight. I ride horses, tandem bikes, and I've done grueling 12-hour mountain hikes. Music is a big part of my life, too. I sing and play guitar, drums, and piano, though it took my mom 6 years to find teachers who were willing to take on the challenge of working with me. 6 years. That's one of the biggest problems with being blind. Even well meaning adults make assumptions about what I can and cannot do. And assumptions mean something that is accepted as true. We don't know if it is true or not. Unexpected obstacles. It isn't just adults who make those assumptions, though. Sometimes friends do too. For example, I've had a great time at sleepovers at my house, but no friend has ever invited me to sleep at his house, even though I would make it happen if they did. And then there are moments when like the start of recess at school, when everyone goes sprinting out the door. It takes a good friend to remember to stop and walk out with me. People also put me in awkward positions, sometimes by approaching me and asking, "Guess who?" I don't think they are trying to be unkind, but I wish that they would just introduce themselves and say, "Hey Noah, it's me, so and so." That's a little step that would go so far toward including a blind person in the conversation. Endless possibilities. After completing that first 10K, I ran another one in Canada and I'm preparing for a major hike on the portion of the Appalachian Trail. I also recently started a radio show on the local college station and began hosting an online gathering for teens who are blind or visually impaired. We have fun discussing everything from school to technology, and I enjoy these activities and don't think of myself as any different from other kids who have a variety of interests. And while I feel proud when I defy others' expectations, I don't just do things to prove myself to others. I'm trying to live life to the fullest. The only limit that you have is in your mind. If you say, I can't do this, I can't do that, well, no, you can't. But if you say, I can try, then you've opened up a door. And you can keep opening doors rather than shutting them. Here are 3 things that Noah wants you to know. 1, everyone makes mistakes. I've messed up so many times. I've fallen on skis, almost got thrown off a horse. Just keep trying. We're more alike than different. People who are blind or visually impaired or have another type of disability. They may need different accommodations, but they can be just as active as anybody else. And the third one is there are really no stupid questions. I don't get annoyed when people ask me things. I want to answer them. It helps enlighten people and to get rid of stereotypes. Here are a couple of Noah's favorite things: Sports teams. He says, I'm a New Englander, so being part of the Boston Red Sox fan is part of the package. Subject in school. He likes math because there's always something new to learn beyond what's in the textbook, which I read in Braille. Movie. We drove 3 hours each way so that I could see the Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I loved it. Music. Zed brings new ideas to electronic dance music. Books. The entire Harry Potter series. J.K. Rowling's stories and characters amaze me. Animals. Tigers and lions because they're symbols of strength, power, and pride. With those qualities, you can do anything. That's quite a story about Noah. All about empathy, learning to understand others and put yourself in their situation.